Accords, Ops Center, you name it. He ran the Camp David Accords as the head of State Department PsyOps, helped found Delta Force with General Boykin, worked with, of course, Bush Sr. and many others. Very interesting guy. And he was, of course, a member of the Council on Foreign Relations until he resigned. And I remember seeing articles that he was writing critical of the system back in early 2002, so I called, got him on the show. And sure enough, he came on, and boy, a lot of heat got brought out against myself, him. He got visits, I got visits. Then Walter Cronkite, Secretary of State Madeleine Albright later. Benazir Bhutto, the Pakistani president, went public and said the bin Laden had died a long time ago, that it was a hoax, that they were hunting him. They killed her, machine gunned her. Our news then announced that she'd hit her head on her car, even though it was video of her being shot. This is the government saying 2 + 2 = 5. Obama saying raising debt doesn't raise debt. Or you didn't build your business. They are attempting to overthrow reality and gaslight us, but it isn't working. Dr. Steve Pieczenik is a medical doctor, also a psychiatrist, and he also Harvard University, multiple degrees, and MIT. And he's done a lot of secret work from North Korea to you name it. And StevePieczenik.com, he joins us. Steve, you got a short segment here, a long segment coming up, but this is 25 minutes we've got left here today on this live Sunday edition. I know you don't want to get into the whole bin Laden raid itself or your sources or whatever, but you've been borne out correct 13 years ago on my show. Now this new Navy SEAL, conflicting stories with others, night and day, comes out, this O'Neill guy, and says that he killed the Easter Bunny a couple years ago on May Day. What is the truth, and why is this story so big, and why have in WikiLeaks emails with Stratford and the CIA, they're freaking out about our interviews. That's been in the news. Why are they so scared of us saying this is a fraud, Dr. Steve Pieczenik?
Well, the real issue is that Alex Jones and Dr. Steve Pieczenik combined reached out to millions of Americans and worldwide and say, look, the 9/11 stand-down was created by Bush Jr. and Cheney and Rumsfeld. Osama bin Laden was already dead and had been dead from Marfan syndrome. No one could contradict that. No one ever has contradicted it. The worst part is that on your show in 2002, you and I discussed an issue where I predicted that whomever would be president of the United States, whomever, I had no idea would be Obama. I had no idea whether it was a man or a woman. I said on the day that president declares that we are finished in Iraq and Afghanistan, we will have killed, and that day he will claim that we will have killed Osama bin Laden. And true to form, the President of the United States, 10 to 11 years later, Obama, comes out and says he killed Osama bin Laden, which was absolutely absurd. Both the narrative and the prediction was such that the entire intelligence community of America was tied in a knot because Dr. Steve Pieczenik and Mr. Alex Jones predicted that a president of the United States, along with a military and civilian intelligence corps consisting of thousands of people and billions of dollars, would predict that Osama bin Laden, who was already dead for 10 years from Marfan syndrome, would be declared dead by a SEAL Team 6. Now, the reason why this is a disaster is because not only is the credibility of Bush Jr. Destroyed, not only is the credibility of Obama destroyed, but the credibility of Bill Clinton is destroyed, because Bill Clinton has not been brought into this issue for a long time. But Bill Clinton was involved in rendition and the prelude to the Osama bin Laden story, because he had already sent physicians from the CIA that summer before Bush Jr. came in, and it was a continuity issue between Clinton and Bush Jr. So the entire administration is now facing a credibility and legitimacy issue when already 3 SEALs come out, each one claiming they shot the bunny rabbit. There's no way they could have shot a man who was already dead. First of all, whatever that raid was, whether it existed or not, I couldn't care less. But what happened in effect is that the credibility of Admiral Mullen, the credibility of Panetta, Secretary of Defense, the credibility of Gates as Secretary of Defense, the credibility of John Brennan as Director of the CIA, the credibility of James Clapper as Director of National Intelligence is entirely brought forth and delegitimized. So you're talking about an entire intelligence system plus a White House and 30 years whose legitimacy has been delegitimized. And now you have Bush Jr. coming out and saying he wants to write a book about his father. He's a painter. And Clinton trying to retool his wife through a system that's already been destroyed.
Don't they get there's been a major political realignment that you and others predicted at the state level, and that it doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, people are sick of the system. The military is almost completely awake. The police I talk to are awake. In fact, I'm always criticizing government. It seems to be people in the security services, if you'd call them, that seem to be the most awake. Isn't that a problem for the corrupt establishment?
It is a major problem for the corrupt establishment. Let me hark back, and I'm not going to go into, you can call us conspiracy theorists, but be it as it may, the issue of John F. Kennedy being assassinated is a very real issue in this country. When a civilian president lies and distorts the truth to the entire country, but at the same time puts his intelligence service at a very risky point. Now, let me give you an example. 50 years ago, when John F. Kennedy decided, and he was not a good president, he had Addison's disease, yet nobody discussed it. He came in, was indecisive, yet he displayed our entire intelligence system, the CIA, all over the world in covert operations, which they were not effective in. And Eisenhower said repeatedly to the CIA and Alan Dulles, you are a legacy of ashes. Subsequently, we have an entire intelligence system in the billions with 16 different units that are not really effective. And they came out even publicly, the CIA said, oh, we haven't armed rebels very well. Well, what happens when you distort and you play with our intelligence system? They come back and they will reprimand the president in ways that the president has no idea. Let me give you an example. When we had the Ebola epidemic, who do you think we went to? Did we go to the CDC? No. They were ineffective. They were civilians.
No, it really is true that no other agency works other than the military.
That's correct. Our military under General Dempsey, who's been very effective in controlling the military, maintaining command and control, and also disagreeing with the President of the United States, has been able to...
And now they're trying to politicize and ruin the Navy with the SEALs. This is just, this is dangerous.
This is not only dangerous, it's disgraceful. Every naval admiral, but now they have a present new chief of naval operations who I hope will reprimand McRaven, who was in charge of special forces when this occurred and knew he was lying, as well as Stanley McChrystal, who knew he was lying because he had already abused one of our own armed officials, and he killed one of our own soldiers, friendly fire. And will also reprimand Mullen, Gates, Panetta, who has been egregious in his attempts to self-aggrandize at the expense of the President of the United States. He was the one who created this nonsense in this movie that Catherine Bigelow created, and I tried to stop, which was called 0 Dark 30. Total, absolute nonsense. The fact that Osama bin Laden was even tracked or in any way controlled was nonsense. Everyone knew in the system that he was dead and that the narrative would never work.
Sure, I mean, he was near death whenever Stratus Ivy in the Army was ordered to stand down in early 2001.
Correct. And so our military officers, now remember, many of these military officers have come up through the ranks, have never seen combat. They came in through the Iraq War, the first Iraq War, so they only saw 36 hours of combat. Many of them are generals, admirals, and Air Force generals who've been dismissed, by the way. Dempsey and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff has done a very good job of getting rid of our Air Force generals and the nuclear strategy.
I will stay there, Steve Pieczenik. Let's talk about the power struggle in the government, the different power groups that are there, because this whole bin Laden thing is just a bird's eye view, a window into what's really happening, and an example of how shoddy their psyops are. Steve Pieczenik, straight ahead. I'm Alex Jones.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you'll love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue Diamond Gusset's got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond Gusset jeans. Made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond Gusset jeans got it. Others don't.
The experts are clear. Sunlight, purified water, healthy non-GMO food, and having a good attitude is essential to a healthy immune system. But I go further with Super Nascent Iodine X2 from InfoWarsLife.com. 50% stronger than our original and revolutionary Nascent Iodine formula, coming from a deep earth crystal source that no other supplier has. Most other forms of iodine come from seaweed in areas plagued by Fukushima and other contaminants. Not our iodine. It comes from over 200 million-year-old crystal salt deposits and is tested and proven to be completely pure. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. See the informational videos. Read the information they're compiled. And for a limited time, when you use promo code NOW at checkout, you get an additional 5% off the entire family of InfoWarsLife.com products. Secure your Survival Shield X2 today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. In the near future. When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operation.
You let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun. You can feel it.
Using unparalleled research in the development of a synergistic formulation based around the key concepts of super oxygenation, the next level in cleansing is here. With key ingredients backed by real clinical studies, the new Oxy powder, available through InfoWars Life, was invented during Dr. Group's research on the toxification of our bodies. Many herbal colon cleansers are harsh on the body and contain cheap and potentially dangerous ingredients, oftentimes full of synthetic fillers, GMOs, additives, or worse. Gently start cleaning your body with easy capsules that start working while you sleep. Oxy powder does not require time off work, and there's no need for bad tasting concoctions. Instead, Oxy powder slowly releases monoatomic oxygen into the intestinal tract and body. Experience the astonishing cleansing power of superoxide and ozonide technology. Go to InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com to get started with Oxy powder, or call 1-888-253-3139.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. He aligns himself with the truth, and it's time for you to choose a side. You're listening to Alex Jones.
We'll be back, Lord willing, tomorrow live, 11 a.m. Central, Infowars.com. Check out our guest, amazing website with all the articles and videos, Pieczenik.com. In fact, at the end of the show, I'll tweet out his website at Real Alex Jones, along with the special report, Navy SEALs ensnared in bin Laden death hoax, a new special video report up on the site. CNN is in a death spiral right now. So is MSNBC. Fox is declining. All the major media is collapsing, not just because of competition, but because they've discredited themselves. I guarantee you, I could go on and just read news articles on the platform CNN has into billions of households worldwide and have 20 million viewers an hour during prime time in a matter of weeks. By the way, I've been on Piers Morgan, and he went from 1 million viewers that night to 3.5 million one night. And for a week, his ratings were double and then trailed off. So I've proven it. And I'm not even bragging. You could put an old man or a young lady just covering interesting news up there, and they would have high ratings. People want it, but this is so crafted, so manipulated, so controlled, so